I guess this here is another bit of a potential danger to the vehicle if I just accidentally pick up one block from this side and one block from that side. It's also kinda, very easily gonna fall apart, and we all know me, I love to accidentally rip my vehicles apart, so that is indeed quite the big danger right there. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to my beautifully stuffed little flat out here in Scrap Mechanic. As you can see, I am already once more close to dying again, but I've been busy in between episodes as per usual. Unfortunately, I seem to have yet again managed to farm about every single POI in the near and far vicinity except for this one, which I just now farmed between episodes. So we do have some more parts that we can push into the vehicle, as like, for example, these 7 component kits right here beautifully waiting for us. But unfortunately, it's not really as crazy much parts as I would really like it to be, I will have to say. So not all too happy with that overall. So we may end up doing a few different things this episode. Let's see about that, because I don't really have all the parts needed to finish everything off as I intend. You can also see I'm farming again with fertilizer, even now that the fertilizer bug is gone, because honestly I do actually have quite a bunch of it, and I thought I may as well use it. And the thing is also that, as far as I'm aware, we actually need this kind of stuff to get ourselves some seeds, which we then actually will need to farm in order to hopefully get ourselves a gun. Finally, sometime in the more or less near future. So that is definitely a plan, and maybe we will even amp that plan up a bit. Let's see about that, but I'm definitely, proceeding towards that, I think. I don't quite remember everything I need. I think it was like 30 tomatoes and 30 red beets, so there is a bunch of farming to be done, and especially since I'm also using the tomatoes, of course, to kind of take care of my own hydration, that will probably take a few minutes. But now you all remember, we did take care a lot of this farming vehicle in the last episode, and I'm still having absolute crazy issues getting up there, except for like these random weird side jumps. But we took care of this a good bunch last episode, and well, I mean, it's starting to come together. We've got these holes here in the middle to actually, I really think we need to reinforce this. Like, honestly, just one row of wooden blocks feels a bit weak to me, and we're probably like, the second a bot hits one block here and one block there, the entire vehicle is basically going to break apart. So I think we probably need to make that a little wider, but I do not think I have brought any new wood for today's episode, because I did really not have that many other parts anyways. You can see I've got 7 blocks right here still, and I've got a bunch of tier 2 metal blocks still, so I think we can actually make a bit more. Maybe it will be enough to actually get the changes in that we do want to make. So let's see. We're going to get that queued up, and then, well, the thing is, we will, for one, need a way of actually putting the collectors into here with having, well, that allows us to have them close enough to the ground to actually pick up all the metal, while at the same time not kind of blocking the entire hole that we made here to actually put them in. So we'll kind of have to think about this. I think I've got a few ideas, but we'll need to see, because of course, it's got to be some sort of mix between like actually keeping the vehicle far enough off the ground and actually having these things kind of, whoops, and actually having these things kind of close enough to the ground for them to actually be able to pick all the stuff that we farm. And I guess this here is another bit of a potential danger to the vehicle if I just accidentally pick up one block from this side and one block from that side. It's also kind of, very easily gonna fall apart, and we all know me, I love to accidentally rip my vehicles apart, so that is indeed quite the big danger right there. But let me go and grab all these blocks now that we have right here, and we'll maybe get started on actually, well, for one, kind of making this a bit stronger, hopefully, through something like this. We'll we'll get to the actual design later, but I just want to kind of make sure to reinforce this a bit. So that should be good. And then we can kind of start thinking about this. Now, I think these... Wait, let me double check. Were these 4 wide, basically? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 6 wide. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is indeed very good. Now, I mean, the thing is, you know, if we would want to have it symmetrical, and you all know I would want to have it symmetrical, we would kind of have the holding frame, if we want to call it that, for the collectors like there-ish. So it would have to kind of be 2 wide just to ensure symmetry, basically. So, you know, it uses a lot of materials, but it would make the whole vehicle a bit sturdier as well, because of course it kind of reinforces this whole frame design that we've got going here. So maybe that is the way to go. Now, I cannot really... I ain't gotta make myself a way up, honestly. For, like, I gotta make a way up on this vehicle. I don't have the mats now, but we gotta do that, because actually getting the collectors in will otherwise literally always be the biggest pain in the world. But this here, I guess, would be sort of the idea, right? So, is that the right way up? That is the right way up. So, yeah, so having them like this would expose them to the bottom, and that should hopefully allow them to pick up any materials that pass under the vehicle. Now, the question, of course, kind of being if this is going to be enough in the end, and I'm not sure. You know, the thing is, we could have to lower this down one further, which I would really not like, because that would very much limit our ground clearance again. So we'll have to see if this works. Maybe we can try. Do I have anything? I don't. I've picked up all my scrap metal arms, unfortunately, so I can't really place anything anywhere and just drive over it with the vehicle to see how it goes. Maybe we go knock down a tree real quick and see if that works. Just for the sake of it, and please don't get stuck. Let's do that, I think. The one thing that's also very nice and noticeable is that with the collectors on, this is actually way more drivable of a vehicle. So I like to see that, and that is actually a good point that I wasn't thinking about before. I think we actually need to balance this vehicle with both collectors in, because they actually weigh quite a bit. So potentially when both collectors are in, maybe you won't even need much of any concrete for weights to balance out the vehicle load nicely. So that is actually a good observation coming from that, I think, that I really didn't think about before. So we're going to definitely do it that way. And, well, I think we're going to eventually need more collectors too, because if we use those 2 collectors for this vehicle now, and I think we're going to keep them in there pretty statically, unless they're, of course, full and need to be kind of put onto the refinery. Like, we would need, like, another replacement or 2 for them if I just want to go mine pretty hard. And I guess on top of that, you know, for actually going, well, like now, just grabbing some wood, I think we would need a bunch more, honestly, like maybe 2 to 3 on top. So we'll have to see how much that costs. I haven't been in the mechanics workshop to actually check on any of these things for absolute ages now, so got to do that. And maybe eventually we can also see if we can't just grab ourselves some clothing bot as well. So as you can see, this does not work. Oh god. Oh wait, no. Leave my vehicle alone. Oh my god, the flippin' hay bots. This thing is still in testing phase, mate. Alright, just leave it be. So you can see that does unfortunately not work, which is quite the downer, I'll have to say. Now the thing is, I don't have any more mats to check it out any other way. Let me just eat that orange before I die of thirst. Now, what we can do, theoretically, when, like, if I had the ability to now get this on a lift, I think what we will do is just get this on one strut for the time being, so I can kind of still test it with the mats that we have. I'm gonna have to get this off the vehicle for a second in order to actually be able to move the vehicle with a lift. Oh no, that's the issue here. Okay, so once more, get this onto a lift, and then we're going to try again, basically, and just drive across that wood again. I really don't like that ground clearance now, you know, we kind of really tried to design this vehicle around having a bit more ground clearance, and now it really doesn't anymore. So at least it has a lot of ground clearance at the front and the back, where, you know, we would initially have issues with the tilt. So maybe that is good enough. I really hope so. Now let's get this onto the lift again that I accidentally removed, and let's pick this up. Let's hop onto here, let's drive up a bit, and here is our frame that we want to put this on. So now this is a bit of an issue. Why can I... Oh, is the lift in the way? I think the lift may be in the way here. Oh no! Woo! God, please. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the lift. We're going to pick this up. This is, of course, an issue. See, that's why I'm saying I need some way of actually getting up on the vehicle. But this now lowers it down one further. So hopefully going to be enough, because if it isn't, I'm going to have to think of some new way of doing this. I don't think I can really put this onto the sides, because otherwise I could have the wooden frame right here and be at the same height as the collector, which would be nice in terms of ground clearance, of course. So maybe something to look into as well. But let's try for the time being if this is good enough in terms of ground clearance. If we start finally picking things up, we do. Okay, that's great. Look at this. That was the idea all along. We just drive over everything. Everything is nicely picked up. Now we've got this bot arm right here, and boop, we got it too. Perfect, glorious. That was my idea all along, basically, with this construction. Well, we finally got it going, so I'm very, very happy about that. Now, of course, going to need a few more mats to actually get this where it needs to be, but then again, we kind of just picked up wood, so we probably will have the mats in a minute and can actually finish the design on that. Now, the only other thing that I really want to test out, as I said, would be if we can just attach this to the side walls of the vehicle, and that way get some more ground clearance out of it. I don't think so, but we're going to give it a try. And these tomato seeds here we're just going to ignore. I may have littered the flat a little bit earlier. I love how I've got this tomato placed in front of our cook bot. That is actually kind of cool, I think. But with that said, that's going to give us some more wood. We're just going to, you know, let that run in the background and then hopefully get back to that in a minute. Now, another thing I actually took care of is I finally got us all the bearings for the first 4 drills right here. Now, you all know I said we may expand this to, well, one more row of drills, basically, eventually. I'm not sure. We'll see if we will or will not end up doing this. You know, the thing is, I would kind of prefer to extend it out to the sides. Maybe we can have a drill like here-ish and a drill here. I don't know. But with one engine, we're kind of limited to a maximum of 6 drills. So unless I want to do a second one, which I guess we can do eventually, that is going to stay the maximum. Now, if we had a second one, you know, we could totally do something like 2 drills here and 2 drills there and another 4 drills up front. Maybe that's the way to go in the future, you know, just to like super quick mine a whole rock. Could be cool. Could be pretty cool. Would be pretty material intensive though, so let us see about that. But for the time being, what we're going to do here basically is I am going to go and pick up these little markers that I set down in the last episode, and we're actually going to go and put the drills on there. Now the question kind of being, no, I don't think the drills really need to be lifted off the platform. I don't see a big reason or need for that, so that should be fine. A different topic though. We all remember, right, that having a drill on suspension was kind of advantageous in terms of it actually not letting us skid along the rock that crazily. So I've got some sport suspension in here still, and I think we could honestly just straight up use it for that. We don't have 4, we only have 3, but I'm sure we can make a 4th one eventually. I think we need some sort of metal pole for that though, like pipes rather. So let's make those, and then I think that should be good. Because if you'll remember, I mean, we implemented... Oh, I don't need a 4th one. Because, I mean, we've got one more on here. So that's actually great. But if you'll remember, we kind of implemented that system right here. To actually lower the crazy amounts that I was skidding off the rocks I mined, basically. And I feel it helped. I'm not too sure, like, I've never really tinkered with the stiffness of the suspension, so I'm kind of thinking there's probably a way to optimize that a bit further. But overall, it did really actually help. So I do kind of like that, and let me pick this drill off of here now, because we're, of course, kind of going to need to use that anyways. I felt it helped, definitely, and if we tinker with it a bit further, we can probably optimize that even more. So kind of liking that idea, and I'm thinking we're going to implement that here too. Now the suspension is kind of sticking out in this configuration, so you know, an alternative, I think that would be a good alternative. I kind of feel that I would actually like to have blocks on top of here, basically, which, you know, is not gonna wreck this too much from a design point of view from the top, in my opinion, but we can sink in the suspension a bit, and I do like that. So we, oh yeah, right, that's a bit of an issue. Where'd the block just go? Oh, there it is. What in the? Did it just bounce into space or something? Glorious. Okay. So we're gonna have to, of course, somehow fix this to the platform. So maybe something like this. You know, that would also kind of, you know, tie this in a little better. So I think that's kind of cool. I like that. And then we're just going to do that. So suspension goes in there now, and that sinks it in a bit better, which is nice. Doesn't stick out that far, and also kind of means that I don't need to upgrade my piston ever further to just kind of have the necessary amount of height above the rocks we mine, basically, right? Because this, of course, you know, lowers the drills again a bit in return, and that means I need more extension from my piston, so this kind of just fixes that a bit again for me. So that's kind of nice. Now, we do also still seem to have 3 of these metal poles in our inventory, so maybe I overproduced the other ones a bit. But yeah, so we're going to move the drill over. I have got a second one, but due to the kind of low amount of POIs farmable for me, and no haybots being spawned anywhere, I only have that second one currently. So, well, maybe if this thing is already usable for me in terms of mining soon, I'm gonna go mine them between episodes. Maybe, I think probably not, but I'm hoping for more POIs to respawn while we're doing all this, so I can farm some more of them soon, and then, well, hopefully, you know, actually go and mine some more stuff. But you can see, I mean, this construction actually extends quite far, even with the suspension sunk in, because we do need that metal pole, and, well, even despite that being the sport suspensions, which are kind of short, you know, that is, of course, you know, a bit of a thing to keep in mind, because now, well, we're still kind of good for ground clearance in the lowest configuration, which is, of course, nice, you know. With that not sunk in, that may have already become a problem, but still, I think that may cause us to have to upgrade this piston further to get more of a range out of it. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, something that also I maybe want to keep in mind, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how heavy this assembly is, but maybe when we raise this upwards, it could cause the, like, kind of the focus, like the center of mass of the vehicle to shift quite heavily. So what could maybe be a very cool thing to have would be having, like, concrete in the back here, but not just on the vehicle, but on, like, piston itself as well. And then in the same move that we are extending this upwards, this thing would be extending outwards to the back to kind of keep the center of mass in the same spot. That sounds like a very cool idea. That will probably need a lot of tinkering, but, like, I'm getting so many cool ideas for this vehicle. I absolutely love it. So I hope you're enjoying all the crazy ideas I'm having. That's I'm certainly having a blast designing this. But with that said, as you know, we can power some more of these bearings, and I'm actually currently kind of thinking these would be permanently running, wouldn't they? There's, like, no way to turn them off. I cannot attach a bearing to, like, it's just like, yeah, you know, that's the one reason we may need a second engine, is if I would want to be able to turn off the drills. And I kind of would want to be able to turn off the drills, so maybe we do need a second engine just for that. And then, I mean, of course, you know, there come other benefits with that second engine. One of them, of course, being that we can kind of power a lot more drills than we can now. And, of course, that also, you know, the power that we put to the wheels and the power that we put to the drills is kind of independent. We can just go max power on the drills without risking wheelies on the vehicle. So, there's some benefits that come with that. And, I mean, I do even have a second engine. So, you know, it's certainly a possibility, but we're going to have to think about that. I also think the suspension is kind of compressed here. Yeah, look at the slant of the vehicle. So we need to upgrade our suspension further. We need more component kits for that. This is definitely not good enough. We need level 4 suspension. If I'm going to make this level 4, I'm going to make this level 4 as well, just to kind of keep it balanced. And we're going to have some weight in the back, because this assembly is actually going to get heavy, because we're going to put another 2 drills on this, and I'm pretty sure that drills are quite hefty in terms of weight. Now, this still very much works, which is great news. I wouldn't be sure that this is high enough. I think we need more height, probably, from this, but it works. And as you can see, we need to drive to power the drills, so I don't think we actually have a choice. I do not think we have a choice other than actually having a second engine on this. Which is what it is, you know, we can work with that, but that's kind of cool. I mean, the drills are working, the drills are on here, that's pretty nice. We've got a concept for this conveyor stuff, not conveyor, the collector stuff too, which is also kind of nice. Just swap to satisfactory there for a minute. And, oh right, I hadn't actually put this into refining just, well, into making these just yet, so we're going to start that, and then we're going to actually finish the conveyor concept soon, maybe like some bumper stuff and everything. The other topic now would be actually moving the engine out, and we've got a second one, so I think we're going to move this engine slightly to the left here, because we should have the space, and then we can put a second one to the right, basically. That would be the idea, I think. So you should be able to fit a second one right there. In terms of power, I think we need to upgrade the second one too, so we're gonna use this. Oh, wait. God, the seat's gotta control it. I cannot forget that, please. In terms of the directions of the bearings, that needs to be fixed. That is fixed, that is beautiful. And then we'll just bring the second engine already. It's gonna be a lot more component kits. That's kind of the main reason why I wasn't really looking forward to using the second engine, you know. Having a second engine in it for itself, it's not a huge issue, you know. It doesn't weigh a lot. It's not really like it makes us use more fuel, unless it's of course less efficient than the other one. And I'm pretty sure we can attach 2 engines to 1 fuel tank, so that's all pretty fine and dandy. See, that all works. The only thing I really don't like about it is that I'm gonna have to use way more component kits for this now. I mean, for the time being, you know, it powers 2 bearings, so we could theoretically run it like this for now. But of course, the idea for the future here would be to not run it like that. Now, I also kind of need a switch pretty badly. Uh-oh. I think I may be out of scrap metal to make a switch. No, I'm not. So, let's make that, because we very badly need that. I mean, you could do a button too. I kind of like a button, honestly. I like buttons. You know, ever since Spastic Cube told me to get a button for the flying thingy, whatever we call it, I don't think we've really agreed on a name yet. If you have a name you want to put on that, let me know. But ever since he told me to do that, you know, actually put a button on there, I actually kind of like buttons, you know. And the way I understand it with the button, the way it should work, hopefully, is that I basically click it once, it turns on, I click it another time, it turns off. And that's not the way that it works. But that's actually also kind of interesting. I can I'm not sure. I guess I would want to keep mining, wouldn't I? What was this button here for? Oh, this. Okay. Maybe I didn't want a button after all, then. Okay, we're gonna bring a switch, I think. we're going to bring a switch instead, and we've got so much wood here now, it's absolutely insane. I've got a bit of tier 2 metal still, as I said, so we're going to use the rest of that to make enough blocks to get the vehicle going. But yeah, so the button will pick up again. I'm sure we can use that for something else eventually. Let's grab that, and then everything will get going again. I really need to watch out not to run into those drills, because they will absolutely murder me, and I'm absolutely 100% certain that I'm just the guy to run into the drills. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you all would assume that I would be just the guy to do that as well. So, gotta watch out with that. But that said, the switch then will go here. Could actually kind of hide the other switch away in there, to be honest. Maybe worth consideration, but that's switch number 2, and it'll be for that engine. And now it's off, now it's on, and we can control it right here as well. Now the one thing to actually see is this. Do you see that? I think what we need to do here is we need to make these rotate against each other to cancel the torque that actually acts on the whole construction. Because now if we do this, you can see it stays perfectly straight, because the torque from the one cancels the torque from the other. So we need to always watch out that whatever drill we put on there, we've got a second one that kind of equalizes the torque. So we can only have ever constructions of 2, 4, 6, 8, never any odd constellations, because otherwise that could be a bit of an issue. But now you can see there is absolutely no sturdiness problems due to the torque on this, and it's absolutely perfectly running actually, which I really, really love. Now I know, I'm already over drafting, well, you know, taking too much time again for this episode. We're already well over 25 minutes again, as usual. I think everyone's used to this at this point, aren't you? But I really want to quickly try this out, so we're going to take the minute for that, and we're going to see if this works. Now, what I want to see really badly here is, does something like this work? Can I just put things on the side walls of the vehicle, like, so like collectors? I don't think so. Just like a little warning ahead of time, I don't think that is a possibility, but we'll give it a try. Did we just... well, we didn't use that much fuel. We also need more fuel, but, you know, we've got the oil pond now, so that's honestly the least of my concerns at this point in time. Now, let's pick this thing up, and I do not think this works. I mean, yeah, of course, if it's laying down, it does, but we don't want to have it running in this configuration. And, well, oh no, not this again. For one, I'm dying, as usual, so, let's eat a tomato. Now we're not dying anymore, good news. I need to get rid of the lift first, I always forget. And then, well, we could have this configuration, of course. That is an upright configuration, isn't it? Where does that put it? Oh, I think we put it on the ground, didn't we? God, I absolutely hate getting up on this vehicle right now. We need to fix that. We really, really do. We kind of have the blocks to do so, but not the time. I'm spending way too much time with my experiments here already. But as you can see, that kind of works, to be honest. I think we don't need to have a construction below the vehicle. I've got a different idea. Okay, so for one, honestly, for once and for all, let's go and fix this. Not like that. Like this. So, that may be a bit impactful to my terrain clearance, but this may be good enough. It is. Haha! Finally, okay. Let's just do the same thing on the other side real quick for symmetry's sake before I forget. So, 1, 2, 1, 2. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So that issue is now fixed. We've got a nice little place to run up on the vehicle. Now, what I'm thinking is actually if we raise this corner side by 1 and we grab a collector and do not fall down and get stuck in the middle of the vehicle, which I basically just managed to do. Do I get out of here? I do. God. I am saying I'm doing something real quick and then I'm taking 2 years. I apologize. I hope you enjoy the overtime. But yeah, so it would take a lot of jiggling it around, but this should get us to just the height we want. And it does. I'm pretty sure this was the height we were operating at, wasn't it? I think so. This is still one too low, isn't it? It's actually one lower than we were operating at. I mean, you know, would make it easier to pick things up, I suppose, but still. So we would raise the height by another one? Yeah? I mean, it's maybe not going to look quite as cool, which is a bit of a bummer. But it would work with more ground clearance. Oh no, we don't need that higher. Do we? I'm kind of confused. I'm getting kind of confused. What height were we operating at with this thing? See, that's kind of... I think that's honestly kind of the... No. No, we're not going to do it this way. As much as I would like the additional ground clearance, and I'm not doing this for design purposes, honestly, even though I do think that this variant here looks better. As much as I would like to do it this way, I think the one thing that is a deal breaker for me at this point is that I would probably be constantly going back and forth with what height this thing needs to be at, because I can never remember, and I'm definitely not going to make sure to, like, always memorize that, and, like, there's going to be struggles. You know, there's going to be struggles, and I'm going to place it at the wrong height, and it's going to be kind of annoying for me to mine it all, and it's going to be a bit of a headache, I feel, and that's going to be the reason that we don't do it. This solution right here is nice and easy, because it gives me a predefined slot where exactly to put the thing. I don't need to tinker around with where I put it, because I really basically just have one option that it instantly indicates to me how I need to do it, and that's just going to be the reason why. You know, we could do it a different way, and you saw it right there, so if you want to do it for yourself, definitely do it. I think, you know, that could give you some more ground clearance and probably make the vehicle a bit more practical, like, practicable, whatever the word may be. May make the vehicle just a bit more usable for you, in terms of actually, you know, staying away from the little hill. Right. Perfect. In terms of actually staying away from the little hills that the rocks are on, but this is going to be the plan for me, and I think, honestly, this thing is actually starting to look pretty good. I really like it, you know? The weight distribution with these conveyors, I'm playing satisfactory right now, I don't even know. With these collectors is also a lot better, and you can see right here, I mean, no wheelies, we can probably even turn up the engine by a bunch and not have much of an issue, and yeah, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. You know, slight bit of power adjustment needed, but somewhere here is going to be absolutely fine. No wheel spin, nice and stable, and pretty balanced for weight, honestly. So very, very, very much liking this design. I think it's getting cooler every day. Didn't really estimate that with these little parts we would spend that much time on it, but I think it was very much necessary. You know, we're very much going the right way with this now, I feel. And, well, we're going to be ever improving. So I hope you all enjoyed the episode. For today, I'm going to end it off right here, because as I said, I'm like ages over the time limit that I usually set for my YouTube episodes. So, this is going to be the end for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton, and if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way now, and the episodes being probably 35 minutes long, I'm going to end it off right here. So as always, thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.